My name is Ann Kirkland. I moved to Canada on New Year's Eve of 1974, which now means I've lived here considerably longer than I ever lived in the US. Oh, first impressions were not good. It was cold. It was January 1st. We went out for New Year's dinner down to Ed's Warehouse, no longer existing, on Front Street, and came out, and across the windshield of our car, which had a New York State plate on it, was a big sticker saying "Yankee, go home." So that was the first impression. I began to sense that there was a kind of hostility towards the US and US experience, and I learned quickly not to mention that, to just talk about ideas, and that there was a kind of sense of superiority I felt among Canadians towards Americans that caught me a bit by surprise. I was born in Philadelphia and moved after university to Boston for a couple years, and then to New York City for 5 years for graduate school. I came naive. I knew very little about Canada, and that's the stereotype Canadians have of Americans, and it was certainly true of me. I don't think I knew how many provinces there were. I didn't know anything about the Plains of Abraham or many of the names of the prime ministers. I think then, these are just my impressions, there was a generalized anti-American feeling and a sense of Canadian superiority, maybe because it was towards the end of the Vietnam War, and there were so many Americans who were here for that reason. And in Toronto, York University was new, and many people were recruited to teach. So there were lots of Americans swarming around. So I think the feeling then, to me, felt like a more generalized anti-American feeling. Now it feels much more particular towards certain policies, particular politicians and so forth, not so much towards individuals. I would say it is changed and it's become more nuanced. The truth is we are so much more alike than we are different, and there are probably no two countries that are more alike. So we're talking about, you know, distinctions that are really rather small. But there is an emotional tie and a hope for the US somehow going, I don't know whether going back to, because I don't know if it was ever there, but we grew up with a strong sense of ideals about how the country was founded. And it has always seemed the country has fallen short. But there is still that aspiration and hope that the US can live up to what its original intentions were. So I don't take pleasure in things that go wrong and tragedies and major missteps. So I care.